Anthony Davis said the highlight was the hype squads from the Pacers and the Bulls between the third and fourth quarter with their trampolines. He said that was impressive.
It's really bad what has happened, and I just, like you said, you got to maybe incentivize these guys or just do away with the game altogether. But
always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
I was looking at the box score. 168 combined three-point attempts between the two teams, and this morning everyone's having the discussion of, how do we fix the All-Star game? Does it need to be fixed? Do we need to get rid of it? I don't know if it needs to. Like, this is always what it's going to be, in my opinion. It's the guys don't really want to go out there and play hard, because that's the fix. Is that, hey, just play hard and then everything is gravy. But that's not going to happen. At least it doesn't seem like it will.
Well, and the players come out and say it's just not a competitive atmosphere after the game. I think the problem...
I wonder who had control over that.
And why the reaction is because Commissioner Silver, and Joe Dumars, who's his vice president, made a big point all year, we're going to be better. It's not going to be flat like it was in Salt Lake City. This is going to be a competitive product. Silver said it again Saturday night. It's going to be a great game tomorrow. And it was just more of the same. So either accept it...
If not worse.
Accept it, or you're going to have to do something, maybe more incentives. Do you incentivize the winning team with cash? I mean, that NBA in-season tournament they did, the $500,000, sure, they played defense for a couple weeks.
They did.
That was fun.
It was some of the best basketball that we've ever seen in December. And it was really good there. And maybe that's the case. But I mean, these guys, they make so much money. It's like, how much money do you need to incentivize them for them to play hard? Like, if you say, hey, winning team gets $100K, they're like, yeah, we're good. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the guys who are at the All-Star game, they're all making boatloads of money on those max contracts. I guess maybe you say $1 million each for the winning team. Maybe that'll get guys to play hard. But I don't know what they can do for this thing. If anything, I was more so mad at the tip time, 8:45 Eastern, 5:45 West Coast time. That was a little bit rough for me. Like I said, I didn't stay up for the whole thing, and it doesn't sound like I missed a whole lot, honestly. I watched the first half of the game and realized, okay, this is what it's going to be. Let me just go ahead and get some sleep for the show this morning.
I think the three-point contest has just become the focal point, right? And now with Steph and Sabrina, maybe that was the highlight. The men's three-point contest. Does Caitlin Clark get involved next year? Right?
Everybody was saying
she'll be in the WNBA. Maybe you have a bracket where her and Sabrina are on one side of it and Steph and somebody on the other. And that's fun, right? But again, they didn't have to start as late on Saturday. Right, start a little earlier in the afternoon. Right? I know you don't want to go up against, but for the most part on Saturday afternoons, the 3:00 window is the last big window Pacific time of key college basketball.
Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to be starting this stuff very late there. The contest that was bandied about was Steph and Dame against Sabrina and Caitlin, which I think that would be a whole lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
It would.
Do like almost like a tag team kind of situation there with that. But yeah, the NFL did away with the Pro Bowl game because that became an embarrassment. Nobody wanted to tackle. Nobody wanted to get hurt leading into the offseason and have to like rehab throughout their offseason. Guys want to go on vacation, which is understandable. Do you kind of go to gimmicks? Do you have the guys just, hey, let's have them play horse. Let's have them play 21. Let's have them play knockout or bump, whichever you call it, wherever you're from. Like, let's have them play all these like kind of fun basketball games that we put, essentially,
right?
Because maybe that would get it to become competitive, and it's not going to be taxing for guys having to defend or switch on pick and rolls and do all the stuff that they don't want to do until regular season games. But I don't know what you do if you're Adam Silver. But even in the trophy presentation, giving the trophy to Giannis, who was the captain of the Eastern Conference All-Stars, he didn't seem happy.
Well, you scored the most points.
He said, you scored the most points. Well, here you go, Giannis, and the East team.
Anthony Davis said the highlight was the hype squads from the Pacers and the Bulls between the third and fourth quarter with their trampolines. He said that was impressive.
It's really bad what has happened. And I just, like you said, you got to maybe incentivize these guys or just do away with the game altogether. But which would be unfortunate because I think growing up, this was always one of my favorite All-Star games. It probably was my favorite All-Star game. Like the baseball one, I get the one that most resembles the actual game, but I mean, it's July. I'm trying to go on vacation at that time. So it's like the NBA All-Star game was really like, it was fun. And the games were like 130 something to 120 something. Now it's 211, 186.
I grew up, and I'm a little older than you, Femi, a little, but I grew up in, coming of age in the early 80s, right, with Magic and Bird, and then Jordan coming into the league, and those All-Star games, and they were actually trying to win, right?
Yeah.
And you're right, it was 134 to 132, and you could actually bet on those games. They were going to try to win the game at the end. It wasn't just going to be either a dunk or an open three.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talked about how stacked the West roster was. Doesn't matter if they don't care, And the roster was stacked. Like the West, I was like, man, this is a really impressive team that they've been able to put together on the Western Conference side. But clearly, they had other interests, and the interest was not defending or winning the basketball game. The Eastern Conference wins at 211, 186.